saw that. Good morning, Patch. Good morning, Sam. They've had their breakfast. They've had their chance to go outside and take care of business, so they're all happy now. Speaking of breakfast, we're getting our breakfast. What are we going to fix today?
Steak and eggs.
Ooh, steak and eggs and hash browns.
And hash browns.
Is that garlic?
No, this is coconut oil.
Oh, coconut oil, okay. It's nice to do this inside because it's so cold outside here. It got down to 35 this morning. 34, 35. We managed to warm it up now to 67 inside now. Yay. It was a little chilly, huh, guys? They were shivering. Poor Patch, he was shivering. Did you notice that?
No.
Oh, man, he was shivering. It's like, it's cold, Dad. Steak and eggs. I like the little squares. That's kind of cute.
They work real well. They clean up easy. Cast iron.
Where did we get those? You remember?
We got these at Christmas time at Walmart. They were with...
Oh, those brownie things, huh?
Yeah, the round ones were the brownies and the cookies, and then the square ones were some kind of a dip that you cook, and then you're just supposed to cook them in the oven, and there were small little gift things.
That's right.
They work out really well for this. They're easy to clean.
They're like a Lodge cast
yes.
iron.
Mm-hmm.
Breakfast time. Looks
It's
like
easier
it's
to do this on the grill outside, but we want to keep it warm in here. So.
yeah. Well, actually, I stepped out and it's starting to feel real nice outside now. I don't know what the actual temperature is, but the wind's not blowing today.
Yay!
Yay!
Yesterday was an inside game day.
Yeah. There it is. Hash browns, steak and eggs. Yum.
Do you want a fork?
I got a spoon.
Okay, perfect.
It can clean right up. Look at that. Wow.
Easy peasy.
Didn't even stick to the pan.
Yeah.
Love it. Hey, there's camp. Here's my trail. I'm just going to take a little fun ride around this little mountain right here. There's a trail that goes around this little mountain and then comes back into the 135. It's a lot of fun. If you're out here camping and you got an ATV, it's a real fun one. But it's not always marked on the map, so I'm going to follow my route that I did like a year or two ago. There's our camp. There's the highway, and here's my trail. Let's try it out. There's a little area over here. You're going to see in a minute as I go through the gate. You're going to see this little area over here. And this is kind of hard to get to because you got to go down this road and go through the gate. But it's a real nice area back there where you can disperse camp. But not a lot of people know that. They don't go back in there because the road does get a little rough in spots, but you'll see. Not too bad. Once I get past up there, though, it does get a lot rougher, and you'll see that. Let's do it. So this is what I would call a lesser trail, the Forest Road 135C. It actually goes up and around the little hill. So a lot of folks don't know you can get back here. Go through that gate. I'm going to show you on the map here. Where my arrow is pointing there, that's where we started off. Went through the gate, and then this little notch right there, that's where the camp area is. This is a nice area. You could probably get several campers and motorhomes, trailers back here. I've seen them before. Here's the area I'm talking about. It's really nice for camping back here. It's just a little harder to get to. And as we continue up the trail, we're going to take you through, show you around here and show you what it looks like. But then I'm going to get back on the 135C and then go, let's see, I'm going south there. I'm going east here. So continue east. And I know folks do take this hiking around. Notice the little meadow right there. That is where we're going to see something in just a moment. So watch. Now, if you do come back here on an ATV, a motorbike, or a side-by-side, you probably wouldn't need to, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to bring some like pepper spray or walking sticks, hiking sticks, things like that. But definitely, if you're walking back here and hiking, you definitely want to bring something with you, because we have seen javelinas, we've seen mountain lions occasionally, coyotes occasionally, although coyotes tend to come out at night and stay away from people in general, but you never know. Just not a bad idea to keep some bear spray or a can of pepper spray with you, especially if you're hiking. Now on my quad, I can just kind of zoom off and get away from them, but wouldn't be a bad idea to carry it on my quad either. And in just a minute, as we come up this road, notice it's getting rougher. But even though it gets rockier and rougher up here, I do see places where people have camped. So I do know people do come up here and camp once in a while. They tent camp and stuff. In fact, even farther back, I've seen signs of camps. So it's not impossible for people to get back here and do camping. It just gets a little hard to bring a car, that's for sure. But I think that's what people like. They like something a little challenging, maybe get farther away from the crowds. But you do want to keep your eyes open for wildlife. I wasn't even expecting this. Watch as I come through these trees ahead and then come to that meadow that I showed you on the map. I was just totally floored when I saw that there was like 20 of them. One went left and one went right. Watch. Oh, look at it. Ah, cool. Oh, I hope you saw that. There's a whole herd of them back here. Cool. Now that just surprised me, caught me by surprise. I've been back here a couple times in the past and never seen any animals in here. But I think because it was so green and there's water in areas too. Now off to the left, you see those off to the left? Those were the ones that are up. Yeah, those were the ones that sprung right and took off. They heard my engine and they just hightailed it. That's funny. They must be gun shy, or yeah, hunter shy maybe. Oh, I hope it's coming in on the camera. There's a whole herd over there. Get my oh, they're all gone. I can't get a picture of them now. They're way over there. Oh, snap. Okay, keep going. Yeah, I think when they heard the engine on my quad, they took off. It spooked them. Maybe they're used to hearing that sound, and during hunting season especially. You know, these animals are smart. It's funny because they hear that motor and this like brings back bad memories or something. It's like, let's get out of here. But once in a while, it's funny too, because once in a while, a couple of them will just freeze and stare at you like the what do they say? You know, the deer in the headlight look. They just stop and stare at you like, what are you gonna do? I didn't see that though. These were the smart elk. They ran. But this trail does get a little challenging. You know, there's a couple of spots, so we'll watch for it here. If you look off, I think one's coming up here on to the left. There's what they call tanks. And this one was dry, which really surprised me because of all the rain that we had just, you know, day before yesterday. Or yesterday it was. And the hail, I'm surprised it dried out so fast. But maybe they didn't get the rain here that we got at the camp area. There's one of the trees, and I ran across this last time I was up here about a year or two ago. And there's always a trail that goes around it because the side-by-sides come up here and people make a little trail. So that tells me maybe this tree's been down for a while. I think there's another one ahead. Sort of the same thing. You have to kind of just go around it. I've seen people in side-by-sides actually carry one of those little electric jigsaws with them, just for such occasions where you might come in along a trail and have a tree right down the trail. It does happen, and so it's kind of a good thing to be prepared. Usually by the time you get to a tree that's down, somebody's already come across it and they've taken care of it for you. keep looking for that tank. I may have passed it and didn't notice it, but there are some places where you'll see little like water areas off to the side. Sometimes you'll see water in them. There was one back before I saw the elk that was off to the side, and it had water in it, quite a bit of water actually. So I was really surprised to see a couple of them that were dry. Now we're sort of, I want to say we're on the north. Oh, we're coming, kind of heading down the back side of the trail here, like you see in my. That's where I stopped there just a second ago. Now we're coming down the back side of 135C, and it's going to connect right there to the 135, which just so happens to be part of the Arizona Trail. You'll see in just a second. Did you see that? That was cool. That's one of those things you just don't know what you're going to find when you come out here on these little back trails. But this is a little trail that goes around the little, not Hutch Mountain, but there's a little mountain right there, a little hill. Kind of comes around it. And I'll see if I can put, when I do the video at the end of the map, or at the end of the video, I'll show you on the map where I am right now. Because I'm marking my trail on Gaia. But I might see some more animals. So I'm going to go down the trail. Thumbs up. Hopefully we can find some more. So as I continue down 135C to the 135, you'll notice a few areas off to the side. There's that one tank. I think we just passed it. There it is right there. Notice it's dry. You see it off to the left? That's one of those water tanks that they kind of dig those out or leave them open to fill up with the water for the animals. And still looking and keep my eyes open. Those other elk might still be off to the left there. I'm not quite sure. I didn't notice them as I was driving, but sometimes I see things on the camera that I didn't notice before. Look at these meadows, though. Isn't this just beautiful in here? If you could get back in here with a tent and a Jeep, maybe a rooftop tent or something, and a couple of friends of yours, you have really nice little camp areas back here. It's just getting on these roads to get back. They're not exactly the smoothest kind of roads. And it starts to smooth out as you get closer to the 135. In fact, in just a second, I'm going to turn and go east for a little bit and show you another little campsite on the 135 that's right up here. I think I'm getting close to the junction where we meet up with the 135. Yeah, right here. And there's the sign I found. 135C. Yep. That was the first sign I saw that actually told me what trail I was on. So it's the 135C. And right up here, then it connects with the 135. And then we're going to go down the 135, and I'll show you another little campsite up here. I've seen it before. That's up here to the east of that junction where the 135C goes into the 135. There's a really nice camp area up here. You just have to go farther up the 135, and you'll see more campsites. I think there was somebody in a pickup truck camper back here. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. I didn't want to get back there and, you know, freak them out about who's this coming into our camp thing. But I have been up here before. It's a nice little area. This is probably about, well, if I were to guess, about 1.5 miles from our main camp area up to 135. Because you do have to come up the hill and keep going. And also, right in here, I'm going to turn around and stop. This is where part of the Arizona Trail goes through. I'll show you the sign for that in just a second. Now this road right here is the 135, and this is one of those little offshoots, 135C, and that's the road that I was on that took me over to where the meadow was, where we saw the elk. It was on this road. So this one actually does go all the way around this little hill here. And right here, where I'm stopped, I think back a little ways, and up there, there's a what they call the Arizona Trail. And this comes through here, right? The Arizona Trail passes through here and continues on up to Mormon Lake. So if you're on the Arizona Trail, this is where you'll cross over right here on the 135. So I'm going to head back to camp. Tammy's going to wish she came along. We're just about finished up with this ride. And I know past this little cattle guard here, I'm watching for it, is a little sign that you'll see that marks the Arizona Trail. That's the trail that goes all the way from southern Arizona, the border with Mexico, all the way up to northern Arizona to the border with Utah. And I forget how many, it's like 400 or 500 miles long trail. And there are people that do that. It takes several weeks, lots of preparation. Here's the sign I'm coming up on. You want to watch for these little signs. You'll see them all throughout Arizona. There. See that little sign right there? That tells you that this is the Arizona Trail. Right up, it just continues right up this hill. You see those signs, you want to watch for those. They're all throughout Arizona, from the southern Arizona to northern Arizona, designating the Arizona Trail, which is a long trail that people do. Sometimes they break it up and do it in segments. Like they may do a week at the southern part of it and then wait another week or two or a month and do the other part, and depending on what time of year, because it's tricky timing it. You want to time it so that you hit the weather right, because if you start off during the wrong season, it'll be really hot in southern Arizona. So you usually want to start in the winter, late winter, and then work your way up to the north in the summertime. Or break it up into, like, do a month here and a month there and then a month finishing it up, something like that, or a couple weeks. So different people do different things. But it's a fun, long trail, but a lot of folks, I've seen reports that people really enjoy doing that. There's little stations along the way, I think, where you can stop and camp along the way. There's lots of little camp areas. Sometimes they even have places with water. Kind of interesting. But hey, I hope you enjoyed this. I want to let you just sit back and relax and enjoy the ride and in the beautiful scenery. Next trip we're going to take will be up to Pine Grove. That'll be our next trip, up to Flagstaff. We're going to get some groceries and then come back down eventually and come back down this way. Have a great day. Just enjoy the beautiful scenery.